The most terrifying thing in the darkness is not knowing who you can trust. Good evening and welcome to the Immersive Experience, a podcast about you, for you, from you. I'm your guide, Desi Lou, and today we talk about standards versus expectations. And I do want to say that this is a subject that I think it's going to be a little, definitely a little touchy for me because, like, it's a lot of people who say that I have expectations of people, and hmm, I've been trying to decipher that for a really long time. Like, do I really have expectations of people? Am I just saying this because am I saying that I don't have expectations of people simply because I don't want people to see me get my feelings hurt, or I don't want to seem like I was that invested? I'm about to be 1,000% honest with you guys. I don't give a fuck. Okay, so like it's it's kind of like one of those things where I expect you, because this is the only expectation I have of anybody, and I expect you to be you. And whether you know how to do it or you don't know how to do it, I'm fine. At the end of the day, the only person that I have to worry about is myself. You hear me? Like, the only thing that I can change about anything, the only thing that I can do to better myself, and this is why we're going to talk about standards versus expectations, because you guys use it as if it's such an interchangeable thing, and they're two totally different things. Do you understand? I feel like you guys need to look it up in the dictionary what a standard is. Okay, so we know that a standard is a level of quality, um, or attainment, something considered by an authority or by general consent as a bias of comparison, as a basis of comparison. Okay, so and that's what that is. So I want you to understand something, that standards are very, very necessary, right? Because even though I have high standards, I can have a low quality experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a thing where it's just kind of like, oh my God, I'm just so upset. This did not meet my expectation. This. Listen, it's like living in these cities, because y'all know after COVID, fast food went to shit. So if every time I go to a fast food restaurant, I'm looking for somebody to give me, oh, I want to eat, I'm going to go to McDonald's. And if every time I go to McDonald's, I'm thinking I'm going to get some 5-star meal out this bitch, where did you go? Why is your expectation that high for McDonald's? Hello, something is wrong. You know that ice cream machine always not working. Like, why would I expect anything like that from you? Like, why would I expect greatness when I know what you're coming with, because I know what I'm going to pay for. Now, if I was at some Michelin star restaurant and they bought me out some McDonald's, then we have a problem. Then we definitely got a problem, because bitch, I ain't pay for this shit. I ain't pay for this. I need to speak with your manager, please. I need to talk to the person in charge. No, but standards are necessary because they help you outline behaviors that are acceptable, and which are not, and what are not, and which ones are not acceptable. They're also essential for having a strong self identity. And as many of you know, I have a very strong, I have a really, really strong self identity. So it's just a lot of things that I don't know. I don't think that we have to have a conversation about them. If it's somebody that I'm really interested in, or something that I really like what I'm seeing, it's all about talking to them, communicating with them, letting them know that, hey, this not suitable for me. Like, is there some conciseness that we can come to, something else that we could possibly do? And if a person let me know, like, listen, this just me, I'm good. I'm good. Because what you just told me is that you can't make room for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm not mad about it. My expectation wasn't for you to rearrange your whole life, make everybody step aside so you could create some type of way for me to come in and be comfortable or anything like that. If it's a problem, then I'm I'm not going to stress the issue. We'll figure it out, trust me. We will definitely figure it out. So, you need to, when you have standards, you need to understand your goals. There's a lot of things where we can say, I'll think of theater. When I used to be on the stage, there was a standard that was set for us when we did theater. And that standard was, and the standard was that we needed to be off book by a certain amount of time. We needed to know our blocking. We needed to know if we couldn't foot it at the auditions, we didn't get into the play. If you weren't good enough there, you didn't make it in. So and that's what it is for me. I have a standard of myself. Um, Somebody told me, they said, the reason that you've had so many men play with you is because you didn't have an expectation of them. And I said, no, the reason so many men played with me is because I didn't have a standard for myself. I didn't have a set. And it's kind of like, you know what you want to see. But because you're so used to low quality experiences, you will accept bullshit. You'll lower your standard, but you'll raise your expectations, or you'll still have that high expectation. Like, let's say you stay with your husband or boyfriend or something. And the thing is that you wish your boyfriend would chip in. You both have jobs, you both work, and you just want your boyfriend to chip in every now and again by maybe not having to prompt him all the time to take out the trash, or maybe not having to ask him, hey, can you help me wash the dishes? Or if he sees that the laundry is overflowing and that you've been working and pulling doubles all this week, but then he refuses to ever do anything. So here we're left with two options. Now, if I can keep my high standards, but I can lower my expectation of the person, because I have to separate the person from the behavior. And this is why I don't easily get offended when somebody doesn't meet my criteria. I've worked with people who had developmental and intellectual disabilities, okay? What they taught me is that they're going to function at the capacity that they function at, no matter what I do, no matter how many times I try to instill in them that this is not something that you should probably do. This is just going to be a mistake. You're going to end back up in the hospital. Is that really what you want? You just said that you hated it. So the only thing that I can do is show them the standard that they just said that they had. Okay, so this is what you said that you wanted to see. But these are the steps that you're taking. That's a bit counterintuitive. Do you think that there's something else that you might? And this is how I had to have those conversations with them. And this is how I go into any relationship. I don't care if it's a business relationship. I don't care if we gonna be friends. However, there's a quality of person that I want in my life. And you're not just gonna be able to come in here and hand me no bullshit on a stick and say it's cold. Like, no. You could keep your little bullshit stick and go slap somebody else with it. I'm not gonna let you slap me with it. Like, I'm good. I don't want shit on my face. It's okay. We're good. So let's ask ourselves, like, what are personal standards? A set of behaviors that we choose to consistently indulge in, okay? So this is, if you consistently choose to tell the truth, why the fuck would you want to be around somebody that's always lying to you? You see what I'm saying? You want a person. If you can accept people where they are, it's a thing where we put our standards on other people, and that's when they become expectations. Because I don't know if I'm just meeting you, I have no idea what you're capable of. Even if it's a job interview, the only thing that I know is that you're, on paper, you look good, but I gotta see you in action now. What you look like when I put you on the floor and somebody slap you, how you gonna handle that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and those are the things, and this is why I say you got to go slow in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll rush into a relationship and we'll think that a person is supposed to give us everything that we're looking for immediately. Well, I mean, he want my attention. Why he don't call me every day? Or she want me to do something for her, then she needs to be giving up some cat. And it's just the expectation. Because for me, I feel like in this generation, a lot of our relationships have become transactional. So it's about what you could do for me and I don't need that. This is why I don't have an ex. I don't care. don't care if the man is a bus driver and he want to talk to me. If he has the ambition, if he has the determination, if he cares about my person, if he has the things, the qualities that I want to see, I'm not too much worried about where we are. You able to take care of yourself? Like, this is where are you able to pay your own bills? Are you able to? I could be homeless and I still wouldn't want shit from you. I was doing it before you got here. I'll be doing it when you leave. If you decide to leave, if you don't talk to me anymore, I'll be okay. I really will be. A guy told me, he argued me up and down. He said, what? Oh, because he was talking about a podcast. We were talking about a podcast. And he was saying that the guy had asked the ladies, basically, if your man went out to the club and you knew that every time he went out to the club, that women was always clamoring over him, trying to get his attention, buying him drinks. They were more successful than you. They looked better than you. I mean, he going on like a tangent of all the things that these people could possibly be better than you at, and they throwing themselves at your man. Would you allow him to still go to that club? Would you, ladies? And the ladies said no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do it. And then they turned around and asked the question for the opposite sex, for women. If your man had, but you do it, you know what I'm saying? So we get so caught up in pointing the finger at each other. So I told him, I said, that man would have hated to have me on this podcast. He was like, what do you mean? And I told him, I was like, simply because I don't want to possess a person. I don't. If it's something that you want to do, you're going to do it. If I have to constantly keep reminding you to do something, like that's tiring for me. And for my peace of mind, I'm gonna cut your ass off. I'm not finna keep playing with you. Like, I don't care where you go. You could go to a club. You could go to so many places. And while you're at those places, I hope you return to me the same way that you left. But if you don't, that just shows me where we stand. If we were able to have a conversation, if we were able to cross these lines and understand that this is something that we want, this is something that we want to be, this is a place that we want to be, then I think that I shouldn't have a problem with you going out and doing anything that you want to do. And the guy told me, he was like, you're just saying that because you haven't been in love and been hurt. You haven't been hurt like that. And I told him, I said, you don't know anything about me, first of all. See, now you're assuming. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I've had an immense amount of love for people who have crossed me. And when they crossed me, I let them go. I'm not going to sit here and keep playing with you for you to keep playing with me. My expectation is not for you to be somebody that you are not. I don't care who you are. You could be whoever you want to be, goddamn. You could be Daffy Duck if you want to. I don't give a fuck. As long as we good, as long as you understand how I want to be treated, we're okay. If you don't, then that's okay. I'm okay with that too. And I'm okay with walking away. If that's an expectation, then like I said, then I guess I have expectations of people, but that's not me putting my expectation on anybody. I have an expectation of myself. I have something that I want to see for myself. So this is why I do set my personal standards, because they lay down the benchmarks of performance in my life. I write poetry, right? So I was talking to a friend, and I was telling her, like, it's a certain level of quality from poetry that I like to see. So like, if I'm thinking about poetry and I'm listening to somebody reading and it sounds very elementary and it's just a bunch of, oh yes, see Jane run, like, type shit, I'm probably not going to be interested in that. My capacity for the art is way higher than it is if it would sit at a simple level. If I'm working with a child, then I'd be able to more understand that this is why this is so rudimentary, so incomplex. The words don't, you know, your metaphors probably not clicking. The similes are not really, it's not really giving what it's supposed to give right now. But that's the quality that I like to see. And I'm not knocking it if it's not something. It's just like going to watch movies. You base a movie off of what your not your expectations, but the standard of quality that you like to see. I like action movies. If I go see a movie and it's barely any action in it, I will be a little upset. Cause why you put this under the genre of action and it's not that? You telling me you're and that's something that I had to learn because it's a lot of people who have talked real good. Like I said, people look good on paper. And so what we really have to figure out is what we're willing to accept and what we're not willing to accept in our lives. So we always have to be open to the quote accept and not expect. So anything that you give me your time, it is I accept it. I appreciate it. I love that you're willing to do this for me. Now, if it's something that you continue to keep up and you continuously do it, then oh yeah, we rocking for sure. Like I don't gotta tell you about it. And this is what I tell my friends all the time. Like you didn't have to tell me how to come in and be your friend. You didn't have to tell me none of that. I just came in and I just did me. And you appreciated me because you were the same type of person. I don't need you to be who you're not. I don't need you to be somebody else. I've had friends who were so far off from me, and it wasn't that we couldn't get along. It wasn't that the thing is that they refused to see me. Where I can see them, they refused to see me. They had an expectation of me. There was a guy who was trying to talk to me one time, and he had told me basically, he said to me, he was like, I thought you said you had no expectations of where this could go. I said, I don't. And he was like, well, I'm trying to be your boyfriend. And you sitting here telling me that I can't. That means you have an expectation of me. I said, no, I don't have an expectation of you. You have an expectation of me. You want me to be your girlfriend. It is you who expects and just doesn't accept that I'm willing to give you conversation. I'm willing to get to know you. I'm willing to learn who you are. I'm willing to take my time with you. But you want to label me. You want to put a title on me. With titles come expectations. We know that. So you can't be a CEO and you know. Yeah, I mean you can, but so how do you raise standards and lower expectations? Listen, remember that it's all about growth. So if it's something that you encounter and it's something that you see and you say, oh my God, I like that quality of experience. How is it that I can incorporate that experience into my life more? It's about the quality of people you hang around. It's always going to be about the quality of people that you hang around. The company that you decide to keep is going to reflect on you. So I think that if we see how people are dressed, if you went out and you saw somebody standing on the corner right now, you would think that they were homeless or a bum because of the way that they were dressed, especially if they were standing on a highway somewhere, standing in the medium. Sometimes, like if I see them, I just be like, okay, we're not gonna think that they are beggars. Maybe somebody just crossing the street. Y'all know y'all like to dress like bums these days, putting on clothes with holes in it. I know I do. I'm sorry. I'm so glad they came out with that shit because being broke was not a joke. Growing up, having to wear holes in your clothes and your shoes, you got made fun of for that shit. Now it's trending. It's a beautiful thing, you know. So, and it's kind of like, I think it's one of those things where we think of standards and expectations for the world of when it comes to monetary things. You have to think of how limited your experience could be if you don't have the money to have the experience or something like that. So I think in order to have higher standards, you have to experience things, and you have to experience it from different angles, different levels. It's just it's just a lot of ways that you can raise your standards and lower your expectations, and it's understanding that you're capable of growth. It's understanding that sometimes I'm not exactly where I want to be just yet, but I know that I can level up. I don't fall in love with latent potential. I can't. I'm gonna be upset. Like If it's because I've seen you, I've had some amazing people that I've run into, and people might feel this way about me. When I was acting, they always used to tell me how great I was, how amazing I was, and I stopped. Like it wasn't a thing where it was just kind of like, because my expectation was to win a trophy, and because I didn't win a trophy, or because when I auditioned, I didn't get the part. It made it easy for me to have this defeatist attitude about it, because the thing is that I was attached to the desired outcome. That's what it was. I was attached to it. I knew I could know I went in there and gave it my all, did the best that I could do with what I had with the time, because they give you, let's say they gave you about 30 minutes to go over the script. If you had a partner, you and your partner could go and talk about it, work things out, figure out your little blocking in the short amount of time that you had, and different things like that. So they gave you, and they expected you to come back and produce something of quality, because that's what their standard was. I want to put on a quality performance, so I need to know what you're capable of with 30 minutes, because then that'll give me an idea of what you'll be capable of doing in 3 months. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have any problems walking with people. I don't have any problems understanding where your flaw is, or how faulty you might be. I don't have a problem with doing that. The problem is that when I consistently have to tell you about something and you refuse to change it, I understand that you are choosing to remain in a place that I can't sit in with you. And that's okay. And if you want a friend, if you want somebody to talk to, if you ever need to call somebody, you can call me. I'm not cutting you off. I'm not saying you're just not going to be my nigga. Like, why would you expect to be my nigga? Why would you expect to be my friend? Why would you expect to be my business partner? Why would you expect any of that from me? Like I said earlier, standards are formed by experience. That's what helps us define standards for our daily life. It is the expectation that things should adhere to our standards that creates strong negative emotions. And that's what happened to me. I created a lot of strong negative emotions because of the expectations that I set for myself, but I didn't think about the person that I was. Like, what do you like? What don't you like? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. Separate your standard from your expectations. You must certainly separate your standards from your expectations. Know where you end, know where the standard for yourself ends, and where the expectation for other people starts. Okay? So just because we have a standard for ourselves or a quality that we like to see for ourselves, we can't get frustrated with other people when they don't have that same quality. It's okay. It's okay that you're not there. It's okay that we're not walking in the same spot right now. That's okay. And I get that a lot of people can take your standards personally, but I'm not personally attacking you. I'm not sitting here telling you that this is something that can't happen, or this is something that will happen. It's probably not gonna happen, because you're not the quality of person that I'm looking for. But I'm not judging you for it. I'm okay with the person that you are. If you're okay with the person that you are, I'm okay with it. Do you have high expectations of yourself but low standards? Let me tell you that standards and self-esteem are directly connected, okay? Like, those are the things that we should think about. What is your standard for self? What do you want to see from yourself? And I think often it's like how, okay, if you have a woman who get dressed up and she be naked, her nipples all out, and men be like, you don't respect me, you don't, bop, 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 bop. Okay. And you think that you have to tell her. You can tell her. You can tell her implicitly, like, hey, listen, I don't like that. That ain't. But if it's something that she continues to do, if it's something that you're left with the choice. Are you going to lower your standard and still have high expectations? Like, she know I don't like this. She know this not what I'm with. Like, why she keep doing this? But then you like, dang, I guess I'm just gonna be stuck with this type of woman for the rest of my life, because this what all women like. They hard headed. They don't think. And for me, it's a thing. Like, if you always focus on the negative, you're only gonna see the negative. And that's just it. And I choose not to focus on the negative of a person. I don't care. It's easier for me to understand that, listen, right now you're not in a place that's conventional or conducive or even even that's compatible with me. You don't compliment my character the way I need my character to be complimented. And it's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I need you to be okay with that. Because you're still a great person, you know? Maybe you're still a great person. I don't know. But high standards and low expectations equal to peace of mind. Because one thing I had to learn is that I can only control myself. I can only control what I do, and I can control the company I keep around me. I can control what I allow in my environment, and this is what standards do for me. Like, this is the standard of person that I want to see in my life. This is what I want, and it doesn't matter if another person doesn't understand our relationship. It doesn't matter if I don't care. As long as you're meeting the standard of how I want to be treated, and you have a good sense of who you are, because I'm not going to allow you to step on yourself, because I don't allow me to step on myself. So I wouldn't want that type of quality around me. Why would I allow you to kick yourself? I don't want to kick you. You shouldn't want to kick you. What do you want to hurt yourself for? You have to understand, one thing that my friends taught me is, like, when I was suffering emotionally, they suffered with me. Okay. So when you're in any relationship, understand that when you suffer, the person that you're deciding to be with suffers as well. So it's just like if a person goes to jail, those jail sentences, when you have a family, you better trust and believe that those people are along for that sentence with you. Okay. So expectations are the root of all heartbreak. I say that all the time. Expectations are the root of all heartbreak. Why would I expect anything? And it became a thing for me where I had to even stop believing what people were telling me, and go off of what people showed me, so I could create a pattern of who I was dealing with and what I was willing to allow in my life. So yeah, you can talk a good talk, because I was able to hear people perfectly fine. Like, oh, they say they get this, they say that, do, and then to turn around and do the exact opposite. But, oh, like, I thought you said you got this. I don't know. So even from that type of standpoint, even just being so gullible to just believe words, and to think that a person, just because a person says that they know you, and then you get into something and something happens, and they don't know you in the least bit. They don't know anything about you. Like I said, we most definitely must detach from outcomes, and that's what expectations are. It's an outcome, and expectations have the ability to seem imaginary, but we know that they're not, because we're able to achieve them, or we've seen other people achieve them. The thing is, what they used to tell us: consider the source. So basically, know who you're dealing with. Know who you're putting in your area, and understand that you can lower your expectations without sacrificing your self-esteem. Remember that, because those expectations of other people, they have no bearing on you. It's not personal. That's just the quality of person that they are. And it's okay. It's okay that they're that person. You need to understand the quality of person that you are. And I understand the quality of person that I am. That's why I don't let shit sit around me, because I don't like stinking. Okay, I like I like showers. I like being clean. So to me, it's just, I got a high standard for myself these days, and I didn't used to have that. I didn't think that it was possible to. I didn't have any self esteem. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know what to think about myself. I didn't know how to feel about myself. And now that I do, if it's not much that you can tell me or show me about myself, or make me accept something that I truly know is outside of me. That is not a representation of who I am. That's not my character. So when I got to that point, it made it so much easier for me. Okay? It made it easier for me to differentiate the people that I wanted in my life. And if they didn't fit, or if it seemed like, oh, all you did was just waste your time, I didn't waste my time. Because I knew what I was getting into before I stepped into it. I knew that there might be a possibility. It's like we talked about last week with the quantum thinker, Schrodinger's cat. It's putting those this person might be good, this person might be bad, and then when you open the box, the person's bad. What are you gonna do? Sit around and cry about it? No. Accept the outcome. Accept that that person was they're no good for you. It is what it is, and they continue to show you what they show you. So either you're going to find a way to deal with it, or you're going to walk away. What are you going to do next? And that's the question that we have to keep asking ourselves when we're thinking of a standard. We need to always be aware of, okay, this is my standard. Am I placing my standard on somebody else? And that is when it becomes an expectation. That is when it becomes unrealistic. Okay? Well, I hope this all made sense. I hope the whole standards and expectations, just knowing the difference. An expectation is a belief. It is a belief. And understand that beliefs crumble every single day. Trust me, they do. And they do. Over decades, over standards are imperative. And it's something that we usually don't really care about, because if we have to do it bad enough, we're gonna do it. I could go to a quality place and they have an amazing bathroom and they have an attendant waiting for me to wipe my hands. I can enjoy this experience immensely. I could like the quality. I could like the standard that that place has set for themselves. But then I could be driving down the road and I got to pee and I end up at some rinky dink gas station that has a bathroom outside. And if I have to go, and even if the bathroom is dirty, I have been in situations where I have chose the side of the road instead of the bathroom. So just because I've experienced high standards, and just because and I've experienced the lows, my expectations are they don't it doesn't matter. What matters is what I need to get done, what has to happen, and what has to happen for that result. Either I'm gonna piss or I'm gonna piss on myself. So what are we doing? What are you doing? Are you allowing people to continuously frustrate you because you expect them to show up for you in some certain type of way and they refuse to? Stop allowing people to show you a million and one times just how much they don't fuck with you. Stop. It's not necessary. Because the moment you show up, the moment you come in there and you come in with all of who you are, everything that made you, every person from every relative, every baby, when I show up, I show up. That's why my presence is heavy. That's why these niggas think I got an expectation of them and I don't. Because it's something you want to be a part of. When you set yourself apart, people going to always question why you are the way that you are. Let them. They will be perfectly fine. Tell them to be strong the same way you had to be strong, because that's my friend favorite shit to say. They'll be strong. And trust me, they will most certainly be strong. Thank you so much for tuning into the Immersive Experience tonight. And you guys have a lovely evening. I look forward to seeing you all next weekend. Bye.